Featuring the ASDB logo, the title reads, "A Message from ASDB Superintendent Annette Reichman."
Hello, hello, ASDB community. I am Annette Reichman, Superintendent of the Arizona State Schools for the Deaf and Blind. Today is July 17th, 2024. I'd like to share with you a bit about last week's ASDB Board of Directors meeting. If you were watching, you may have seen that I gave a presentation about the importance of planning for the future for ASDB. I'd like to share a little bit more about that now. There are 6 items that I'll go into a bit more detail about with all of you. First, I'll talk about the strategic plan. As you know, the board developed the strategic plan back in 2021. We just completed our 4th year of the strategic plan. We have collected data and provided a report to the board for the 2023-2024 school year. Hopefully, the board was able to review that report. We have 1 more year on the existing strategic plan. And we have already begun discussing with agency leaders about developing a new strategic plan for 2025 through 2030. When a draft plan is prepared, we will provide it to the board for their review, edits, and approval. The second item on my list is accreditation. If you've been around for a while, you may remember back in 2018, we finally received accreditation from Advanced Ed. Advanced Ed is now called Cognia. It is now time for us to renew our accreditation, so we are working hard to provide the materials that Cognia requires from us in order to get reaccredited. We will have a review in September. The reason that we pursue accreditation is because we want to emphasize the importance of instruction and student learning. And we always want to continue to improve how we do that. Cognia reaccreditation is important for agencies' future planning. The third item is the Master Facilities Plan. You may recall back in May, the board approved the concept of the redesign for Tucson campus and the design for Phoenix campus as well. We are nearing completion of the master facility plan, and when it is completed, we will start looking for funding. We will begin figuring out how we can get the money that we need to support that master facilities plan on both campuses. My third item is complete. Moving on to my fourth item of agency reorganization. We have been moving things around, and you may have noticed. You may be wondering what's going on with that. One change is that we recently hired a deputy assistant superintendent by the name of Rosie de la Cruz. You will soon be meeting Rosie. She will be working with both our Phoenix and Tucson campuses, as well as the Organizational Development Division and Career and Technical Education Department. She will be providing support to both of our principals, again, focusing on improving instruction, as well as student learning opportunities and experiences. That will allow our acting assistant superintendent, Oren Kachov, more time to focus on the early learning program and itinerant services. That is one critical piece of our agency reorganization efforts. Another piece is that we recently promoted Jason Lilly to become a state-level director, overseeing all of the itinerant services. Last week, the board approved Jason's contract, and he will take responsibility for statewide itinerant services. We will provide more information about that coming soon. That is a summary of our agency reorganization efforts, and now we'll move on to budget planning. Every single year, we have been creating a budget plan that includes the upcoming year as well as projecting another 2 to 3 years out. And the same process has been occurring for the fall. We are projecting for next year's budget. What's different at this stage is that for most of us, this is the first time experiencing a budget funding cut. That has not happened at ASDB in quite a long time. That reduction in our appropriated budget is from the state's general fund. And that reduction means that we're going to have to reorganize a few things and reduce some of our costs in several different areas. We have already begun that process. We have also already submitted a budget reduction plan to the state. We will continue to focus again on student instruction, providing support to our students and their learning. That will remain our priority. My sixth and final talking point today is the discussion I had with our board about the importance of our communication plan. Some of you may remember back in the spring of 2023, our ombudsperson, Donna Williams, conducted a series of focus groups with personnel across the agency. They engaged in in-depth conversations about communication here at ASDB. Donna gathered quite a lot of information from those focus groups, which she compiled into a report and provided recommendations to us. During the 2023-2024 school year, I was committed to improving communication across the agency. For example, I do these video logs every month and communicate with you directly. Another example is creating the board summary after each board meeting. I summarize what happened during that meeting and I send that out. We also communicate more frequently via email, and I have committed to leadership team meetings that include an education executive team meeting, as well as a steering committee meeting. Last spring, Donna again conducted focus groups. She asked the same series of questions regarding communication and got some additional feedback. The feedback showed that we have made some moderate improvements, and we still need to make additional improvements. Donna provided a report with her recommendations, and I am currently reviewing those recommendations, as well as the employee satisfaction survey information. I'm working through those documents to create a plan for the next year and into the future. And you may wonder why that's important. It is important because if we are not effectively communicating, then we cannot be held accountable, and we are not collaborating, and we are not being transparent. All of the other future planning relies heavily on our ability to effectively communicate and be transparent throughout the agency. So that is a summary of our plans for the future. Very soon, everyone will be back to work and our students will be back to school. I am greatly looking forward to seeing all of you again and seeing our students back. If you happen to see me passing by, please tap me on the shoulder, get my attention, and say hello. Let's take a few minutes and chat. I would love to take advantage of those opportunities to talk to each of you. Thank you.
A graphic appears with a light blue background. The following text reads, powered by ASDB Media, copyright 2024, Arizona State Schools for the Deaf and the Blind, all rights reserved, and fade to black.